I'm Ahmed Daud, and in this session, we are going to see one aspect of or one biggest challenge in decision tree. Okay, so till now we have seen what is actually decision tree, how the process is carried out behind the decision tree, means how we can build a decision tree for classification problem and for regression problems. So one of the biggest challenge in building of decision tree is it can lead to overfitting. The reason is that it keeps on splitting the data points to make the pure leaves, okay, or you can say until the point where it there is no decrease in impurity, it keeps on splitting the data point and our decision tree keep on growing. Okay, so what will happen by this? This can lead into very tight decision boundaries and which can lead to the overfitting. Here you can see a data set, which is a data set of iris data set, in which there are three categories: stosa, versicolor, and virginica. Now on the left hand side, you can say these are very generalized boundaries. There are just two boundaries, and that are very you can say distinguishing between the classes. Just there are 3 points here. You can see these 3 points are actually versicular, but this generalized model is considering these 3 points as Virginica. But if you want to draw a boundary to you can say distinguish these 3 points also, then it can lead towards the overfitting. And there is also one point here which is belong to Virginica, but here this generalized model has the boundary, and it is saying that this point actually belong to versicular on the basis of all other points that versicular have. On the basis of similarity of this point with the versicular points, that's why this generalized boundary is saying that this point actually belong to versicular, but actually our data set is saying that this belong to the virginica. So this is generalized model, and this can help us any future data point. There is more chances that these generalized boundaries can accurately can predict the class. But if you try to uh, or keep on splitting your data points and your tree keeps on growing, then to remove the gene impurity or to make the pure leaves, it make boundaries to split these point as a virginica, and these 3 points also it will draw these type of boundaries which can lead into very tight boundaries, and this can cause a overfitting. Here you can see, if I will show you the decision tree. Here you can see like at this particular stage there is 36 points belong to Virginica, just 5 points belong to the versicular class. But if you have or you are going towards to remove the Gini impurity further from 0.214 to you want to make this 0, and you want to split these data points until you will get your pure leaves, then you can see here a very biggest tree you are here, or you can say very tight boundaries you are here generating. Okay, just to distinguish these 5 points from other 36 points. But if you will stop at this particular position, if you will stop your model to keep on growing at this particular position that I have drawn here, black line, at this particular position, then you can get a generalized model, and it is pretty sure that whenever a point will come towards this node, means if some point have the petal length greater than 4.75, then it will be considered as a iris virginica. But and there is also on the basis of these points you can calculate that about 88% chances that these point any point will follow that path will be considered as virginica. But if we will not put any restriction on the growth of our decision tree, and our algorithm keep on splitting the data points, it can lead towards these biggest tree, which can cause the overfitting and can cause a problem for the new coming data points. Always whenever you have a new data point, your generalized model can predict uh, the class with more accuracy. But if you have very overfitted model, it is quite difficult for the model to generalize the new data points to predict the class for the new data points. Okay, now in the next session we will see what we can do, how we can put the restriction on the growth of decision tree, what measures we can take to avoid the overfitting. So for now, thank you.